Hello, true believers. Welcome to my channel, Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave, and today I have 5 more undervalued comic books for us to take a look at. Alright, but before I get started on that, let me just say it is summertime. I am about to go on holidays, so there won't be any undervalued videos for a couple weeks after this one. Okay, sorry guys, life is taking me out of town, and yeah, I'm just not gonna have time to make a video or the next couple week for the next couple weeks. I hope you understand. I will be back with more undervalued books after July 15th, and yeah. So anyway, let us take a look at the books that we have now. So there is something about to happen in about 6 to 7 weeks. Really important date while searching out undervalued comics. And that event is D23. So Marvel Comics is not going to do a big movie announcement at San Diego Comic-Con. They are going to do it at D23. And D23 is Disney's con, right? So this is where Disney showcases off their own stuff. They don't share this con with other people. And it makes sense that they would take their biggest property, the big moneymaker, Marvel Comics, and announce it at their own con rather than announce it at San Diego Comic Con, which just helps San Diego Comic Con make more money. They're going to do it on their own, which will bring attention to D23. That's our target date. When they start to put out all these big announcements of exactly what movies are on the slate and are a go, and we might get some character announcements, some villain announcements, some movies we didn't expect. Kevin Feige has been talking a lot about the Phase 4 being a lot of movies that people don't expect. Now, Kevin Feige, he's not a liar. He never lies to the Marvel Comics audience. He is vague sometimes. He won't answer sometimes. But he never ever says anything untruthful to the Marvel Comics fans. So when he's saying things like there's going to be movies that you weren't expecting, and he's laid in little hints like he really likes the character Nova, he really likes the character's power pack. He said that the leader, which is a book that we're going to take a look at, isn't done yet, right? And there's certain things that are trying to set up, and people are guessing and guessing at who the next big villain is. Is it Galactus? Is it Doctor Doom? Who's it going to be? We may find out something like that. We may find out that the Phase 4 is going in a different direction, and there's not going to be one big bad guy that everybody ends up fighting, that it's going to get broken up. Who knows what's going to happen? The thing is, any comic book that you're speculating on for a movie appearance, you need to buy that book before D23 happens and they make that announcement. I would assume like D23 starts on August 23rd, which is a Friday. I would assume on August 24th they're going to have that panel where they do the movie announcements and list the Phase 4 roster for a little, maybe not all of them, right? But we're going to get a good idea of what's coming up. Confirmed. We know things like the Eternals are coming up. We know we're going to get another Doctor Strange movie. We know we're going to get another Black Panther movie and another, Captain Marvel movie. These movies made way too much money not to have a sequel. Now, the new ones, that's where all our speculation comes in, because if when they make that announcement, if it's some weird odd book, people are going to go crazy for it, and the price of that book is going to spike. So hopefully in one of my videos there is a recommendation to pick up that villain. I don't know it any more than anybody else, but I'm just making educated guesses at what's going on, right? So keep in mind, mark that on your calendar. D23, August 23rd. That's when the big Marvel movie announcements are going to happen. Okay, anyways, that's enough ranting. Let's get on to some comic books, see what's undervalued out there. So, the first book on my list, it comes from the Silver Age, and it is Tales to Astonish, number 62, and I'm just going to add with it number 63. Okay, so these two books make up the first appearance, first cameo appearance, first full appearance, and origin story of the leader. So if Kevin Feige is saying he's not done with the leader and he's not a forgotten character, we haven't seen that character since the original Hulk movie back in 2009. I believe that one came about 10 years, right at the beginning of all the Marvel MCU stuff that went on. He might come back. They're talking about Blonsky coming back as well. So there could be some sort of weird movie that's going to happen in there that involves the Hulk and the leader. What form that's going to take, I don't know. But if Kevin Feige is specifically mentioning this character, like I said, he is not a liar, but he's not really telling us exactly what's going on, whether the leader is going to be. He's just saying, you guys think they're forgotten characters that we just dumped them on the back burner, but they're not. They're going to make a return. And the actor, oh, I forget his name. Good actor, really like him. Funny guy, character actor that played the leader in the Hulk movie. You know, he's a big name. They can bring he's quite recognizable, and they can bring him into the MCU as one of their stars for sure, as a villain star, as it were. But yeah, these two comic books, like I said, they're from 1965. I would expect right now there is a little bit of hype around it. So, decent seven, mid-grade copies of this book are going for around $30 a piece. Okay, so that's a good buy, I think. Even, Tales to Astonish in general usually sell just regular issues, in that sort of seven range, around $20 a piece. Um, in this kind of mid number here. So, an extra $10 for the first appearance of a very important character, I think it's a really good value. And I think if Kevin Feige goes up on that stage and says the word the leader in any single way, these two books are going to spike like crazy. Okay, so it's a good idea. If you have any interest in collecting Tales to Astonish and you want to complete your run, get these books now, or else you're going to be paying, right? If that happens in the announcement, these books are going to spike like crazy. Okay, Tales to Astonish, number 62, number 63, first appearance of the leader, or first cameo appearance, first full appearance, and origin story of the leader. Look to pay around the $30 mark for each of these books. All right, so that's the first one. We're going to move ahead a little bit. And let's pick up one from the Copper Age, or I guess this is Modern Age now, 1993. Is that Copper Age or still Modern Age? Anyway, I picked Adventures of Superman, number 500. Okay, so this book has a first appearance of a well-known character, and that is the first appearance of Steel. Right? So right now, DC, their movies don't kind of generate the same speculation as Marvel books do, mainly because their movies are, right, like they're hit and miss. You don't know, like Aquaman number one, everybody thought was going to flop, and it was great. And I really liked the movie. I thought there was a little too much 3D, like forced 3D kind of perspective in there. But it's a 3D movie, but I mean, really, do we have to have like 10 shots of Aquaman swimming in 3D? Anyway, but the movie itself was good. I thought Jason Momoa played a great character in it, did a great job. I thought all the actors did a great job, and the story made sense. And I thought, it deserved to be a successful movie for DC Comics. So DC Comics is going to start doing solo movies. They're not going to follow the Marvel formula and try and make this big movie where everybody accumulates to fight a big bad guy. Ish, right? This is what I've been hearing. They're going to make solo films, self-contained stories, right? They might have a little bit of crossovers in there, but it's nothing that's going to lead like the Avengers led up to Thanos. That might be a smart move on Warner Brothers' part. And with all the stuff with Henry Cavill and everything with Superman and stuff, there's a chance that we're going to see some different characters like Steel show up. And I bought this book I found it in a comic sale. They were selling all of their books for $1.50, so I got this out of that one. So yeah, this is a really nice, very near mint condition book, and Like I said, I paid less than $2 for it. So if you're going on eBay and looking for this book, look to pay around the $2 to $5 mark for plus shipping, depends where you are. But yeah, you can still find this in dollar bins at LCSs, all kinds of stuff. I wouldn't, go out of my way to get it off of eBay just yet, unless eBay is your only source for buying back issues, which some people it is. They don't have an LCS with back issues close to them. Um, but yeah, I think Steele's a great character. He did have his own movie at one point, which was a terrible movie with Shaquille O'Neal playing Steele. But that was a long, long time ago. That was early '90s, I think that movie came out. So Steele is ripe for a reboot. He definitely may show up as some sort of incarnation in a DCU movie. Maybe Superboy was with them, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, I think for a buck or two, getting the first appearance of a well-known character like Steele is a steal. Yeah, they're very punny this afternoon, today for our videos. Anyway, The Adventures of Superman, number 500. It is from 1993, and look to pay under $5 for a mint condition copy of this book. Perfect. So the next book on my list, we're going to go back to the Silver Age, and I picked this book up. It's kind of quirky. It's not what you would call a key, but it has like a really kind of cool thing. And I was actually, when I figured this out, I was actually really glad that I already had this book. And it is from 1965 again, and that is Wonder Woman, number 156. Okay, so my copy, unfortunately, has quite a bit of damage here. Right? Looks like something was sticky, and somebody may have ripped off another book and pulled a whole bunch and left a big copy. So this one's definitely going to be on my to be upgraded list. Okay, but I had this book already. I bought it a while ago. I looked up what the prices were going for on eBay right now, and even a decent 7.0 of this book, or a nice mid-grade copy, is going for around $20 to $30, which is pretty average for Wonder Woman. Okay, for a Silver Age Wonder Woman. Now, the reason that this book is undervalued, in my opinion, and the quirky little cool thing about it, is this comic book is the first comic book that mentions comic book collecting. Wonder Woman reads this book that she's in. She breaks the fourth wall reading the comic book, and there's even one of those, Spaceballs panels where she's reading the book while she's looking at herself reading the book in the book that she's reading, and it kind of goes off into, infinity, that mirror infinity thing. So she breaks the fourth wall, and she talks about comic book collecting, and she talks about brand new shops that are only selling comic books and stuff like that. So, first time ever comic book collecting was mentioned in a comic book with Wonder Woman. So it's just a cute little trivia thing. As a comic book collector, I like little things like that. So I was pretty happy that I already had this book. Otherwise, I would have gone out of my way to buy it just for that fact alone. And I think a lot of other people, when they realize that, may want to have this, regardless of whether they collect Wonder Woman or not. It's just a cool thing, a cool little trivia book. First comic book collecting mentioned in a comic book. So like I said, I bought my issue a long time ago, and with this damage, I believe I bought it as part of a big pile of books, so I couldn't exactly give you a price for what I paid for it. It's probably around the $5 range. If it was this damaged and I still wanted it, it would definitely $5 or less back when I bought it. Like I said, now you can buy a much better condition book than this in the $20 to $30 range, which is pretty average for a Wonder Woman, upper mid-grade book as is. But, just to have this, and this fucking cover is absolutely fantastic, right? With her in the bullseye. Really kind of cool cover. They have a Golden Age story that reprints in here. So yeah, this is definitely a collectible. We'll even mention it. You have a DC Prize Collector's Tale in your hands. Save this issue. Okay, so if you like quirky little things in your collection, you like little trivia books that, shows off your comic knowledge, this is a great one. It is Wonder Woman from 1965, number 156. Look to pay around the $20 to $30 range. First mention of comic book collecting in a comic book. And bonus that Wonder Woman breaks the fourth wall, which she doesn't do too often, but she had done it a few times before. Everybody thinks that Deadpool or She-Hulk or whatever started breaking the fourth wall. Incorrect. This has been done way back since the Golden Age. But it's cool when I like it when Wonder Woman does, especially when you're looking over her shoulder reading the panel that she's in. You got to look at it in the book to understand. Anyways, so that was number 3. All right, on to some more. Let's go to the Bronze Age, and we will pick Man of Mystery from Beyond the Stars, Omega the Unknown, number 8. All right, so this book has the first cameo appearance of Fool Killer. Okay, so Fool Killer showed up in Jessica Jones, the latest season that came out. A lot of people are looking at the wrong book. This is Gregory P. Salinger. He is the Fool Killer that everybody kind of knows, dressed up in the black costume with the big weird hat, and had the nullifier ray where he was destroying all these different villains and stuff like that. He's a very sort of anti-hero, vigilante sort of dude. But yes, he is making an appearance in the latest Jessica Jones show. And a lot of people go to number 9 because if you look at Comic Collects and stuff, it lists number 9 as his first appearance. However, that is incorrect. His first cameo appearance is here in Omega the Unknown, number 8. This book can easily be found, in upper mid-grade copies for $5, and that's if you're like paying a lot for it, right? You can find this book cheaper than that. It's a dollar bin finder. I wouldn't pay more than $5 for a nice copy of this, but Fool Killer is actually kind of a really cool anti-hero, and he's got a cool costume and stuff. And again, he's a Netflix character that just appeared, and he's going to be in the last Marvel Netflix show that's ever going to happen. However, Marvel has talked about continuing those Netflix shows on their own streaming service, right? They can just do that. They can pick up right where Netflix left off, make their own shows about Daredevil and the Punisher and all this stuff. And that might just happen, right? The way that they got canceled at Netflix so quickly like that, I think Marvel was just like, oh, we're just going to quadruple the price for the rights to do your next seasons. Netflix was like, well, that won't make us any money. We're out, right? And they did that so that Marvel did that so that they could grab up those properties for themselves and put it on their own streaming service. Remember, they're looking for content for their own streaming service. Big problem with the DC streaming service that's come out, and they're canceling all their shows, and weird stuff is happening because they didn't have enough content to launch. They tried to be the first, but they just weren't ready for it, and people were like, I'm not paying $7 a month to watch nothing, right? So I think you're going to see Disney, when they're launching their service, they're going to be trying to pack in as much new shows as possible, keep people coming, people wanting to get a subscription to this, wanting to leave Netflix and come over to the DC streamer service, or have both or whatever. All right, back to Omega, right? So Fool Killer, great character appearance. This is Omega the Unknown. It is from 1977, and it is the first appearance of Gregory P. Salinger, the Fool Killer that most people know, and the one that's in the Jessica Jones season on Netflix this time, and look to pay around $5 at the most for this book. All right. And last on our list, we're going to stick with the Bronze Age, and I love this book. And this one is another Valkyrie appearance. Valkyrie is so confusing with her first appearances. Is it Avengers 83? Is it Hulk 142? Or is it this book, which is The Defenders, number 4. And it is from 1973. And in this book, Barbara Norris becomes Valkyrie. And that Barbara Norris Valkyrie is the Valkyrie that sticks around. She no longer leaves Barbara Norris's body. She becomes Valkyrie permanently. She joins the Defenders in this issue as well. And Barbara Norris becomes Brunhilde, the Valkyrie that we all know. So I don't think they're anywhere close to being done with Valkyrie in the MCU. right? They made her king of the Norse people, while Thor went off with the Guardians of the Galaxy to have some other adventures out there. So I don't think they're done with her. She's still set up to do whatever. And if the Defenders ever showed up, or if they ever called her Barbara or Brunhilde in the movies, they just have called her Valkyrie so far, you would expect to see this book shoot up in price, right? So, and it's also a great Defenders book. If you're a fan of the Defenders, this is definitely one of the key books to collect in that Defenders run. Like I said, Defenders number 4 from 1973. First Barbara Norris, Valkyrie. Valkyrie joining the Defenders. I paid, I added my notes. I paid $30 for this book. Right, that's how much I paid for it at one of my local LCSs, not off eBay. This is probably a 7 for this book, maybe a little lower. Some decent spine ticks there on that dark color cover. Anyways, for $30, have such an important character and a big important character in the MCU, and you can still get this book for, like I said, the $30 range. Man, right? I think this one really flies under the radar and should be valued at much more than it is. So, that is from 1973. First appearance of Barbara Norris, Valkyrie. Valkyrie joining the Defenders. Look to pay around the $30 mark for this book. And yeah, I think that this book, once it kind of gets a little more known and a little more people looking to buy up this book a little more, it should see a spike in price. You know, it might take a little while, but this book is definitely undervalued at the $30 mark. All right, and then now I have a slight correction to bring up. On my May 15th video, I brought up a series of books that I said was the first solo Venom story. One of my subscribers, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name, which one it was right now. I'll look it up. I'll put it in the subtitles here. He pointed out that that was incorrect. That was not the first solo Venom story, and this first solo Venom story actually happens a year before that in this book, which is The Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 25. And there is a short solo Venom story in here. So this book came out a year before the one that I recommended. Bump, bump. Sorry guys, I do make mistakes from time to time. I am pretty good about it. Luckily, the mistake I made this time, the other books are not expensive, so if you did go out and found some copies and bought them, I'm sorry. However, I doubt that you paid very much for it, so I'm still batting, pretty good average here for a lot of the undervalued books that I'm bringing up. But if I make a mistake, I do want to point it out just so that a lot of people don't go out there and buy that. So yeah, instead of looking for annual number 26, start looking for annual number 25, which has the first solo Venom story in it. This book is from, it's right on the cover, from 1991, and you look to pay for about the $5 to $10 range for an absolutely mint condition copy of this book. Okay, again, sorry about that. I am a human. I am bound to make a few mistakes. I try to do my research as thoroughly as possible, but yeah, this was pointed out to me that I had made a mistake, and I am correcting it. I will fully admit when I make a mistake. All right, guys. So that has been 5 undervalued videos. Undervalued comics plus a little comic talk about some speculation stuff. Like I said, I will be away for the next 2 weeks. Then I will be back and we will have another 5 undervalued books for you. And yeah, so please enjoy your time this summer. Everybody be good to one another, subscribe to one another, keep watching YouTube and supporting everybody. This has been Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave. Just reminding you, a day without comic books is like night. I'll see you next video.